I'm watching.
Started the stream. Well, there's nothing to watch at the moment. Except possibly the kettle.
Okay.
Resistant listeners, audio of the kettle. They can look at this magnificent country called Arts, owing to some slightly poor kerning, and how the
much extra stuff down this page. I've never scrolled this page down before. So I have to keep tabbing until I reach the save button. No, I don't want tags. No, I don't want like caption certification. Don't think I need to have a recording date because like it hasn't been recorded yet.
I'm just busy looking at all the exciting countries that were where
Poland ended up.
Yeah.
Well, that never, probably in many cases, never even came into existence. Okay, that's
It's possibly true.
How do I get to the save?
I mean, I did get to Poland around the year 1000. You know, before that I was messing around in Styria and Hungary and Croatia and places. Although I am still going to get in some good complaints that in this period Norway is not, and this is really important, not ruler of Iceland.
Send a bug report.
Yeah, they're not going to care now because of CK3. Anyway, got all 8 million squillion little Irish kingdoms,
Yep.
but Iceland doesn't exist. Right, anyway, so I have now taken over England. I've managed to kick out the other pesky Viking invaders. I have 8 squillion children. So now, at the moment,
Yes, I think now is a good time to investigate how your succession system is working.
my law is agnatic cognatic primogeniture, which is
The law of England is
oldest child of the ruler inherits all titles, and oldest male child inherits,
or if no male,
female. So, right, let's hope that Prince Robert isn't a complete useless state. And
I should unmute this and you can you have a thing floating around the screen.
yeah, I don't think that'll show up on this on the feed because it's feeding off.
It doesn't show up on your screen.
It'll show up on yours, which
it shows up on my screen.
So this is agnatic primogeniture, which is oldest inherits all titles, but is strictly male only because the Capetians are sexist bastards.
So I think that probably means that since they're both primogeniture, your Prince Robert is probably going to inherit Normandy, even if it doesn't follow the rules of England. I don't know whether it does or not.
Indeed, it doesn't. It's agnatic primogeniture.
Right. Yes.
So, that just means that in future, I basically need to keep having sons. So, oh my God, he's useless.
See, this is the problem with not having a. I mean, the advantage of not
Yes.
having elective succession is you can be pretty confident it's staying in the dynasty.
Yes, the advantage is
it may go to a stoat.
hey, stoats are more cunning than this. You know, look at that, 1 in backstabbing. Any stoat can do better than 1 in backstabbing.
Well, at least he has a ambition to get better at it.
Yay.
He's got.
No, he wants to become marshal.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, what's the thing on the right then?
That's no valid plot.
Oh, that he isn't plotting anything because he doesn't understand the concept of a plot.
No. Maybe I should plot to kill my own son. He's my other son.
Well, I mean, no, that's not what I'm going to do.
At least my second son is less completely useless. He's 15 and has an 8 in backstabbing. So he might turn out not to be totally have a small problem in that a lot of the time my liege was assigning them, and of course at the time I didn't want to piss my liege off. For obvious reasons. Right, so, who am I? I'm William of England. Right, so, let's see what's wrong. Am I allowed some hot water and some fruit Mentos, or is that an optional or extra? Okay, so I have a very happy Duke of Gloucester, although a lot of his happiness will time out. On the plus side, good. Ditto the Duke of Cornwall. Duke of Somerset is slightly less cheery about everything. Also doesn't like the fact that I'm an adulterer, I should remember that. Outraged by succession law change. I haven't changed the succession law. Not guilty, my lord.
Well, possibly you've done so by invading England.
It's possible that I have done so inadvertently. I am prepared to admit that. I do have medium crown authority, which is probably good at this point. I mean, at least it probably stops my vassals killing each other. No bets on what they're going to do to the Welsh and the people of Brittany. So you want the Duchy of Normandy. Astonishingly, you don't want the Duchy of Normandy. Possibly because Perche isn't in Normandy, or possibly because you're too stupid to work out that you're meant to want Normandy. Right. Not mayor is not a problem.
So he'll get better as you get settled in.
Yes, and that should tip him
but
back up.
on the other hand, he'll lose that granted plus 20 granted apparent bonus. So
I'll have to watch out for that in a bit.
It would certainly be nice to have him paying taxes to you rather than to the folk. But on the other hand, if you are going to go around being a cynical adulterer,
yes, I can expect my my priests to be a bit peeved about this. Yes. Why you carry on desiring the Duchy of Hampshire? Ditto you. I am Duke of Hampshire, aren't I? Yes, that's my English holding. Right. You're outraged by the succession law change. I assume this was because they were presumably in with a trance previously and now they're not. So at least it's positive. It's Duke though, so ideally we'd want that above 20. Well, if I next go to war against them, I think I should do a round of handing out of titles based on potential vassal strength.
I think you may need to do that beforehand in order to stop them rebelling.
Yes, well, I do have the dangerous factions thing up there, so I'm pretty sure I did something to try and sort that out early on.
Yeah.
So, you do not like me very much right now. It's very expensive.
One of Avero's requirements was something that you should probably give him, because there was desiring a city or something. Barony of Argentan.
Well, what I might do is give it to a claimant and transfer vassalage.
Could do if you, yes, if you're feeling expansionist.
Of course I'm feeling expansionist.
So, the Duke of Bedford's in prison. That
Yes.
indeed is a rather suspicious Harold.
Mm.
No, you're probably not going.
I don't recall him being Duke of Bedford originally, but, it's not like I actually did do that well in Anglo-Saxon history. As such. So, technology. We still need to acquire more technology. Military intrigue. Alright, so. I can buy indulgence for my sins.
What does buying indulgence get you? And that doesn't tell you. Does it tell you somewhere else? Will hear your plea for salvation. Yes, okay. I think it ultimately ends up with as an increase in piety, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's assume that I'm not that bothered by my piety right now. On the other hand, let's think about founding a new empire.
Alternatively, it's rather cheaper to refound a de jure empire, such as, say, Britannia. So, which of the requirements do you not have to found a new empire? Right, so you
prestige,
don't have the prestige and you don't have the realm service.
or the cash.
Oh yes. Yes. Founding a new empire is, I think, some distance away.
Yes, but I think it's a goal to work towards.
On the other hand, yes, it may be, if you expand, the Empire of Britannia is conveniently, well, the obvious size. More or less being the whole of the British Isles.
And just the Channel Isles don't really exist, but...
Yes, I think they're too small to be worth mentioning.
Right.
The Isle of Wight required a patch to get.
So yes, I have my Chancellor in York to improve diplomatic relations, and you're in Warwick to try and stop him from doing stuff. Right, do I have any... I don't even have any claims on anything.
Well, no, I think we started with a claim on England, but... Yes, I suspected that the early game there may be relatively few claims around because the history is all is not quite so complete as it is when the game's actually running.
So right, let's just have a look at potential things like Scotland.
So it is reasonably soft.
Right. So that's magnetic, cognitic, primogeniture.
So that's the same as England. Yes, of course. A claimant for the entire kingdom would immediately become independent if you pressed his claim.
Good point.
So the only
Let's
way you
find
can do
some
that
petty
is become-
kingdoms.
So yes, pressing a claim on one of the petty kingdoms of Wales would or Ireland would
So which one's magnetic, cognitic, gamble kind?
so that's where the titles get
Oh,
handed
split out. Yeah.
across the descendants. But in return, your descendants like you more, and you have larger domain limits. So is that 3 of the petty kingdoms of Wales he's got
Yes.
strong claims on? Well, that kind of thing. Is he? He's not.
He's not brilliant, but...
Yeah, I mean, he tried to say that actually no one else there has stats good enough to... Oh! The Spy Master of England is already your Spy Master. What does he have? Since he's already your Spy Master, what's he's got? He's got a pretty good set of claims, and he's already your Spy Master. Kind of tempting to say give him some land.
It only has to be a barony, doesn't it?
I think that's correct, yes. Argentine is the one that someone else wants, so
Yes.
they'll want control over it, but once he is a duke, that will stop happening as well.
Feudal. Well, I don't... Okay, he's part of the Christian Defensive Pact against me.
Oh yes, of course you are threatening.
I am threatening. I expect everyone is going to be part of the Christian. There's Dehubath.
On the other hand, a small enough realm might be able to be taken before the Defensive Pact can mobilise itself. Maybe.
So...
Though they are mostly pretty local.
Yes.
It's essentially...
They're also pretty feeble. I'm just going to zoom in particular. That is just like... I know, Deheubarth is quite large. So Powys has 2 things, but is mountainous. That has 2 things, and is not mountainous. Well, let's give it a go. Let's find out how inadvisable it is. I can always go for a white piece. Right. Let's give this a go. Let's turn off the 15 messages saying that like 8 million people have been called into this war. Instead, let's straight in.
Trump's pardonings have started, I see.
Let's just check that we've got a sensibly arranged army. So, where's Mr. Armchair? Something happened to Mr. Armchair.
Well, you did kind of reorganise everything after you invaded.
It's true, I did. Stick him over there. And him over there. Right, off we go. Oh god, of course we're meant to be having a tournament, aren't we? I'd completely forgotten about that. It's worth a try. Oh, they've managed to get their troops on the ground rather quicker than I have.
Well,
Ever.
they do quite small.
Education. So, where are you retreating? You're going to Hereford. Where's Hereford?
It looks like they're going all the way to Leeds.
Oh yes, they're in shattered retreat, aren't they?
Yes, I think you had the Shepherd's retreat turned off last time.
Yes.
Another army there.
Yes, I know, but I can't fit it on.
Oh, really? There
Yeah.
it is.
Actually, maybe send across to Lincoln. Zoom out a bit. And I can't stop anyone that's in shattered retreat. Let's put that back together. Let's wander off to the happy world of going, hello, anyone got some cash?
Still, at least you don't get as many injuries as you do as an enormous empire holding a tournament.
It's true. Right, let's away. Let's stop over there. Let's stop you there. You lot, get over there. You lot, and you are already going. You're just animated somewhat weirdly. Oh, I've stopped being brave. Whoops. Oh, this is very educational. Mostly about why I should wait till people aren't in defensive pacts.
You could still cause some damage with a bit of organisation. They appear to have split themselves into two armies, both of which are smaller than yours.
Yes, I need to glue them together first, obviously. So that's a small problem.
Take out the 5005 first, or to
I think it's to...
north and do probably do them.
Oh, hang on. Yeah. Embark. Let's check. Volume. Yes.
Might not be a disaster actually. I think they arrived a bit late. The centre may hold on, but they've got a fairly poor commander in the centre.
It's true. I do have much better commanders, but I do.
They'll be flanking their centre shortly. But yes, there's a question of whether they've got enormous numbers in the centre enough to beat through.
Probably not going to get there in time, but you know, it's worth a try. Come on, get after that flank.
They're now entirely attacking their centre.
Oh, pause, that's when nothing's happening in the battle. Oh, I've shattered one of their flanks though.
Yeah, I think they may have been too slow to reassemble themselves.
That'd be nice.
Close. Oh, they've got more troops in. Curses.
Yes. Curses, curses, curses. You only got like 700.
They're mostly winning with the 36 on the...
On that flank. Come on, get a grip, honestly.
Well, that was
Right.
unfortunate. Yeah, I think it may be a bit late for that.
It may be a bit late for that. Right. He does lose his claim on that petty kingdom, but he's got 2 other petty kingdoms. Let's send this and go. Let's not go up against defensive pact. It is a silly thing to do.
Well, I think you might have gone less terribly if you'd known from the start that you were going to need those
Mercenaries.
because you could then have had them in Bristol, or Bath rather,
Yes.
or probably not actually Bath, Gloucester, at the start of the war.
Yes. Right, everyone's in the right kind of territory. I can dismiss everyone.
And now you have no money again.
And now I have no money. On the other hand, my income is positive, so it will be very shortly. That's alright.
Sadly, someone has imprisoned your spy master.
Yeah, well...
He was your spy master. He's now sadly.
I want to offer to release him.
Maybe we find who's imprisoning him.
King Thingy in Gwent. Where's Gwent? Gwent.
No, I think you may have to wait for him to offer him back. Anyway, you still have
I still need to sort out a spy master. Spy master. Yeah, court chaplain. You're perfectly acceptable. Right. Let's just check. Everyone is indeed the right religion. Brilliant. I'll set you researching cultural technology. Let's go check the dangerous factions. Right, Warwick. Off we go to Warwick. Warwick. Factions. Yeah, to Dorset and Duke of York. Right, Duke of York I do worry about, right. Okay. 1 children, like a guardian. My only slightly hopeless second son. It's a silent guardian. Probably not terrible. And we've poked that a bit. We can plot to kill.
You apparently have an idle.
Oh yeah, Marshall. Check revolt risk. Astonishingly, no one's revolting. France has a revolt problem. Right, off you go. It's time to research the military tech. London's very nice at this time of year. Oh, laugh. It's November. London is never nice in November, although it's possibly better than July. People are leaving the defensive pact against me.
Something appears to be going weird with the stream. It looks like it might be offset to the bottom left. But maybe that's just an illusion. Let's assume it's an illusion of my laptop, bro.
Squack. States. Well, maybe Virgin Media hate us.
I don't think that would cause that effect.
Well, good. And on the plus side, people are leaving the defensive pact against me, which is nice.
On minor side, you don't even slightly have the resources to prosecute a war at this stage.
Not really. And not even slightly the resources to. I mean, obviously, Kent is Canterbury. I should build a grand cathedral there. I'm sure when I built some of these, I didn't have these options. Like, I don't remember the Great Harbour and Great Lighthouse.
Well, the Great Harbour and Great Lighthouse can only be built on the coast. You spend a lot of time as a
is Central Europe.
Of a
Yes.
Central European.
Yes, that makes sense. Yes. I can build a royal palace, the good old munificent garden, and the library and the mausoleum. Yeah, well. Oh no, I have an unlanded son. Come on, update. I could land you, I suppose.
Yes. He's at least not as hopeless as his older brother. So. Aren't both of them called Richard? Am I terribly confused? Oh no,
Robert. So there's Robert, Richard, William II, who is actually, I think, the one that ends up succeeding in the end. At least in England. Do not ask me about Normandy. Princess Cecilia, Princess Constance, Princess Agatha, and Aubrey de Normandy, who is my illegitimate offspring. Who's a bit sickly. She's also not very old, so she might grow out of it. Well, let's tick time a bit faster so that I can accrue some cash. Oh, no longer Marshal. Oh no, I no longer have a Marshal. Right. Duke of Norfolk. Research military tech, because we need some military tech. Oh, people are now joining the defensive pact. Let's try improving diplomatic relations in York.
Presuming now your armies are recovering, and so they're like, oh, he's got armies again.
No, not an army. We can spend a bit of time, accruing some technology. It's not a terrible thing to be doing. More time's ticking fairly fast. We can. Oh, there's an anti-pope. Really, people? I'll go on research religious stuff in Kent. So, Spain is a mess. North Africa, stripy. The Byzantine Empire is smaller than I remember it being. The Seljuk Turks are, of course, doing well. The Fatimids are hanging on in there in North Africa. There are fewer absolute dynasties in India than I would have expected, but there we go. I have no idea what Cumania was meant to be. But, yes. We have many small northern pagan things, and we have Ruthenia. Oh, that's nice. And we have the Holy Roman Empire, which is presumably being led by a German. Yes. Kaiser Henrik IV. Conrad. Surely he should be the son of Ottos at this point. Or are the Ottonians about to start? I thought they were 9th century, but I could be wrong. So Powys are trying to get into England. Warwick are trying to get into Powys. Well, that's fine. If my vassals do that, that's great. We're now down to one faction. That's good.
You've had a read error, a quick thing from my ICQ now then.
Yes, I just rebooted my laptop.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it was being weird, and I didn't actually need to do anything now.
Yeah.
Streaming will continue to exist whether or not I observe it.
So we have Norway, Sweden and Denmark. Oh, I can go on a grand hunt, isn't that nice? Right, let's go on a grand hunt. I will find the white stag. Eventually I'll have enough money that I can, either go to war again or, well, I think it's better to be brave than craven. Woohoo, excellent. Right, let's be heroic and studly and the words ending in id. So how is my personal wombat score? My personal wombat score is pretty reasonable. I get 10 prestige. I can hold a feast. Let's...
All your vassals will be there. Yeah, right. They will.
Yeah. Right, let's try that option. I've never tried that option before. Right.
Well, I mean, which child is it you're sending out?
Richard the second son.
Not the one you actually want to get killed.
No.
But on the other hand, not very likely that Marshall would die at least.
That's true. Right. Well, let's flatter him, then he might feel happy and not join in any factions. It's worth a try. Right, let's be slightly stingy with the food. Right.
Will anyone come?
The Mayor of Ark says piss off. Ditto the Count of Widget. The Duke of Somerset. That's fewer than I thought.
Yes, it's not nearly as big a list as... Prince Robert died under suspicious circumstances.
Well, I mean, what a terrible, terrible shame. I mean, he was completely 100% hopeless. I mean, he's like 90% hopeless. What's his slightly younger brother like? Oh my god, hang on.
Well, I think Richard is your best hope then, or has he not yet gained his points for being a Christian child? Okay, slightly better. But yes,
I think Richard
is actually your best hope. So
is the least
no one
hopeless.
murders him.
Yes. Oh well, that more or less cancels out the benefit. Oh dear, I'm over my vassal limit.
No,
Mean limit rather than not vassal limit.
Because you just regained everything that Robert had. So that's probably fine. You probably want to assign something to Richard so that he becomes a useful person.
Right. Well, let's assign not landed title.
So
County of Rouen is the traditional normal one. And I shall give any lower titles.
that doesn't I don't think that brings you in your domain limit.
Yes, it does.
Oh, right.
There we go. Everything's fine. Currently, he really likes his dad. Well, probably his dad. Right.
Well, yes, the...
Ooh, I got some money off my slightly useless son. Brilliant. Excellent. Attacks is the best form of defence. Ect. Oh yeah, William's on land and...
Meanwhile, has grown up.
Yes. On the plus side, I don't have any more sons.
And you do have a large stock of counties to hand out.
I do have a large stock of counties to hand out. And hopefully, of course...
And don't you get some... is it a prestige penalty or an opinion penalty
From what?
for having an unlanded son? I think you get one or the other.
I think probably get some penalty, I just don't know what it is. So if you're able to find that out from the
I
wiki...
think you can try mousing over your prestige and seeing if that has a penalty
good.
attached to it. Yes, so
Oh
you're
yeah, it's
losing
quite a big penalty.
a fairly large amount per month by using not... actually, are you? Mouse over it again.
Mouse.
So... Okay, yes, you're losing substantially more than you will lose by handing over a county to him.
Right, let's give him a county. Grant you a landed title. Let's give you Perch. And you're not going to get the lower titles as such. Right. Oh yes, I was about to take the important decision of holding a summer fair. To cheer everyone up a bit. While we wait for my threat to decay. I don't want to be paranoid or have... Right, good archer that stout. Hello, Bobbin of Hood. Oh, there's an Angevin revolt happening. water. Well, I had hot water. I don't have tepid water, probably. Yes, I'm slightly tempted to play as... Yes. I think I might try Athelflaed with full gender equality turned on.
You talking again,
No, I'm just plotting my next game.
okay.
And Eleanor without gender equality turned on. And seeing
Also,
if
the
I can...
gender equality fakes the number of women who were important at the time or something? Or?
No, I think history stays the same, but the rules when the game starts are essentially gender free.
So I didn't have... In order to get gender equality last time, basically I had to become Cathar and try and make my whole realm Cathar in order to be able to promote women.
Right, it was turned on, then, unlike in real history, I assume that you start off in a world where there isn't working for it.
Yes.
There are a bunch of rule changes you can make which vary the amount of divergence from reality.
Can you have gender imbalance the other way?
Not in the game rules. It is possible for some, like I think you can arrange that if you reform a pagan religion, possibly only if you have the right DLCs, you can reform it to an inatic set of inheritance rules. Where women inherit only.
Ah, she's a halfway competent steward. You're not betrothed to anyone. I don't want a non-aggression pact with Scotland. So, Courtier of Navarra or Prince of England. I vote for Prince of England.
I would say Prince of England is not your relative.
It's best not to inquire. He was Harold's son.
All right.
Well,
okay.
Well,
so
he was the son of a previous king.
Yes,
King
and
of
has somehow
England.
managed to retain the title of prince.
Prince. Well, presumably he retained the title of prince because his because his father was king at the time he was born.
Yes.
You don't stop being a prince just because your father stops being king. You're just a useless prince with nowhere good to go.
Yes, marrying yourself into. Okay, yes, there does appear to be a thing whereby your stream is currently displaced down and to the left.
What?
As in, on at least it looks like on YouTube your entire screen is offset down and to the left, so you lose the bottom left like about third. I'll just
Okay.
check by actually loading the thing, but you might like to
I could.
poke
Let's.
OBS and see. Yes, it is indeed apparently deliberately doing that.
Right.
That will work better.
That will work better. Presumably, accidentally something was clicked on. Right, that's made the Duke of York a bit happier. How's that looking in the faction world?
Where I
Good.
immediately go, oh, he's over 37. You need to ask him to convert. No, you don't.
I do not.
Everyone is a Catholic.
Hang on, I just lost like. This number just went down again. Oh well. Well, let's put Harold under house arrest. I can't strip him of his title because, of course, he didn't rebel against me as such. Well, allegedly he did swear to support my claim to the throne in the cathedral at Rouen in 10-something or other. Before, and this is important, 1066. Not very long before 1066 though. I think it's 1058. Ish. So how are my factions doing? Okay. Warwick's cheering up, although I've sent my spy master there to, I don't know, tickle his kidneys with a knife. Right. I will not be blackmailed. English Revolt War. Jolly good. Right, let's turn time down a lot. Right, military. I don't have
You're
any
currently
military.
under fleet levies.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't have any
The
military.
numbers will be a lot better if they're number of men rather than number
Right.
of ships.
Let's go for control click, control click. Right, so fleet.
I just remembered that you said that before the next war you should try to arrange that your vassal, that all your minor titles are handed out.
Too late.
Well, I mean, you can still hand them out and then raise more levies, I think.
It's true.
So yes, indeed, your third son is the one that you would expect to succeed.
So this fleet's over there. Right, let's do a bit of zooming in and a little bit of light collection. So let's not over there.
So yes, in real history, Richard probably died in 1070. And it looks like Robert succeeded to the Duchy of Normandy and William succeeded to the King of England.
And they're coming up there. That. So, I'll put it here.
Is that the army you want to be looking for? Actually, it has like 56 people in it.
That's true.
Maybe you want to join
That's
those
this
two
one.
together.
Yes. Give me a second.
We don't have any flanks at the moment, it's too small.
Blue.
Now it probably has 8.
Now it has a flank. That's fine. I only have enough commanders for a flank.
So is the plan that that joins up with the 287 to give you enough to deal with that?
Yes.
69? Yes.
Let's appoint some more commanders. I'm sure they will come in handy.
In 1071, William the Conqueror defeated the last rebellion of the North. Ah, well, we're a bit late, aren't we?
Yes. Well, that's fine. That's yes, we'll go over there. See what happens.
Yes, you really want to beat that 639 now because they're very low morale and you're not. And because yours is a personal level, it really isn't low morale. And it doesn't look like you're currently going to meet it. It's
Yeah.
got something weird's going on there.
We're going to Wiltshire, which is there. Wiltshire.
fill the screen with Southern England because that's where everything's happening.
That's true. Let's zoom in a bit.
So yeah, that should be a nice easy win.
Short pause. Get on ship.
I think you may have just been tempted to dismiss them after the one ship. Don't think it worked now, but I'm not
Good.
sure. Yes, it did.
Damn it. Desperately trying not to dismiss them. Clearly
But
this
you
did
did
not
click
work.
OK on the dismiss these armies question. Right. We'll sadly have that function.
Yes. Clear. And pause so that time can pass for these armies. Everyone's going to roar, isn't they? Isn't they? Aren't they?
I think we know the line.
So you lock a glue. You'll get to Gloucester. Where's Gloucester? Oh, let's go to Gloucester.
So I think your something may have sorted itself out in front.
So they're going towards Warwick, which is that way. You not, I think, should come to Oxford. Glue, go to Oxford. Get on a bloody ship.
You could move those ships further south. So that might take more time. I'm not sure. Is there...
They're going.
right, yes, and then maybe, yes, it was the whether you could arrange to pick up the armies further south and west and hence say marching, but I think you gain one land square and lose one sea square in movements. So,
Tss. On ship. Get on ship. Ship over there. Glue. Check. Army. Right, so I'm leading. That's good. Got Rosalind. And let's do that.
that's waiting. That's empty. Oh no, it's not quite empty.
It is not empty.
The rest are empty, I think.
Yes. Can't get a bloody move on. Right, off you go there. You go there. All 9 men from from 3 tiny villages in Normandy. Right, so how's the actual battle going? Thank you for telling me about the alliance. I'm sure that's very educational.
So you completely lost your centre.
My centre is not looking good. Get in there.
No, it's paused. You don't know what's going to move anything anyway unless you're on board.
That's a bit better.
The centre will fall apart again pretty shortly.
Probably. Right, let's shovel you on a ship and push you off to the Solent. Right, how are we doing?
Good. I think she may have got away with that.
Maybe. What a good job I hired some mercenaries.
Good job that Prince Robert died.
Yeah.
Because it was only his cash that allowed you to survive this.
Yeah. Might not be surviving it.
Oh
no.
Both of them.
Okay.
They're, unless they get some more men in, they'll stay retreating. You may not have many left, but...
On the plus side, this will make my mercenaries much cheaper. Hooray, that's given me 55% more score. Good. Right. Glue together. So which way are you going? You're going to Worcester, which is that way.
They're probably retreating quite a long way.
Yes. That's fine. Let's send some of my fleet round to lurk off the coast. Oh, good, that's nice. I've just gained some random army. Okay, that's nice. That might mean that one day I can deal with that. So
they continuing to flee.
At this point, I'm. I see.
They are at fairly high morale, unlike you, so I think it may actually be worth sitting around for a bit. Getting all your army together. Being able to see everywhere that isn't in the Pennines.
Yeah.
Maybe taking some territory.
Well, I am besieging somewhere. Because that'll give me ticking war score.
I think you get ticking war score merely by the fact that you're still holding your own.
Unfortunately, I'm ill. Yes. Not ill, hooray. Their army has kind of evaporated
I
amusingly.
think it's hiding in the hills, but I'm not sure.
Yes. That's nice.
Whether he'll still be allowed to keep that duchy
It's true.
is another matter.
59% more score. Evesham.
So this will be a lot slower because it's got fort level of 4 on 1.
Indeed.
All
Oh
right,
look, they're besieging Northampton. Well, while I've got mercenaries and I've got somewhere back from them, I should take the approach of going and giving them a kicking.
Also, you can explore and see if there's anywhere else where the first thing you get to besiege is a church or city.
Castle, 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 castle. Shrews, Shropshire, no, that's castle. Castle, castle, castle. Durham. If you're having Lindisfarne as your place name, Why is it not? And this is important. The bishopric.
I think the bishopric may well be Lindisfarne, but the county is Lindisfarne and its capital.
Oh, it's Yavering. Okay, it's okay. Fair enough. It's capital.
The church, you should get it.
Yeah. Obviously, that's Lindisfarne. There's no question about the bishopric being Lindisfarne.
So it's merely that under the current government, the baron is.
Tripped on his own axe, eh? Still not that rich, especially since I just spent all my son's inheritance on fighting a damned rebellion. Right, anyway, so you're going to Lincoln.
There's a regular army in Lincoln.
So let's go to Lincoln for a little light squashing and a little light washing. And possibly a little light besieging as well. How are we doing on this? We're a bit short on occupation.
Well, I guess I thought there was a limit of 75% on battle war still, but you passed it. Some people can use.
%. War score. Release the otter. Right. Not dismiss. Getting to port. Not dismiss. Right.
So you've presumably got someone who wants stripping of their title.
This is true. I should now have
Indeed, possibly several people who want stripping of their title.
So let's go to prisoners because that makes it a bit easier to see. Because it tells you how long that they've been imprisoned for. So, Mayor of Stafford. I don't seem to be able to remove his revoked title. Yes.
You've been in there forever. Maybe even that.
That's true.
25 gold, but worth having. Count of Dorset then.
Count of Dorset.
This is a vote title option.
Revoked title.
Since he is a traitor, our vassals will not object.
He won't like it, but he's just a perfectly boring prisoner. He's
the former King of England, yes.
Yes.
Probably can't deprive him of his duchy. Maybe he can. Agder doesn't sound local, so maybe we can ransom him back to the Norwegians.
Yeah. Duke of Warwick. He's been in there for 0 years. Revoke title. I feel it should be Lancaster. Because traditionally that's second in the land. Or will be second in the land. Bishop of Ramsbury. For titles that low I can't. Yeah. Well, he's a bishop.
He was Ransford all that, was he?
Yeah. Anyway, that will almost certainly improve things once everyone's got back to land and I've dismissed them. I will stop for the night on the grounds that I should, in theory, have an early morning meeting tomorrow, courtesy of Virgin Media not screwing it up this time. Right, let's just check the messages for anything interesting.
You've probably got an excess of duchies again.
I probably do have an access to duchies again, but we'll fix that in yes, I have 3 duchies, but I'll have to consider carefully what I keep and what I give away, and we can do that tomorrow. Right, so let us save and quit. Save and quit.